Hey, welcome back to Triple B Farm Outdoors. This is the second video in a series that we started with regards to timber stand improvement. If you remember, we brought a logger out, a guy that we know, to look at some storm damage and to see what it's going to take to get some of it cleaned up. And we realized I've owned this place for 8 years, probably hadn't been timbered at all in 15 before that. So we decided, hey, let's do a cut, right? Let's take out some of the mature value trees. We're gonna be stuck here in a minute.
Yeah, we are. That's okay. You can hear them in the background, by the way. They're still actively logging.
Yeah, skidder, they're actively logging. So we walked with the forestry guy and the guy who's gonna do the cutting. And we marked trees based off of age, damage already, and then really looked at the canopies of some of the bigger trees that were shading some of the ones that had started growing underneath. And we wanted to give them a little more sunlight so that they can begin to grow, and they're getting stunted. So we opened up the forest a little bit more, which is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, Mark, because if you don't open up that floor, your small seedlings, small trees never get a chance to really mature, right? So it's a very healthy thing for your forest to get in there and do that kind of maintenance on it and management in order to allow the total forest to flourish,
yep,
right?
100%. Yeah. And again, like I said, we hadn't cut it in a while, so it was time to do some. We marked, 35 trees, and we got a bunch of damaged trees. But the guy's done a great job so far.
Mm-hmm.
The trails are opened up. You're going to see them here in a little bit when we go out. But
that's good.
Did a great job in doing keeping the place clean, which is one of the more important things for me.
Yeah,
so,
right.
And then Kent made a video, and thank you for doing that, by the way.
Happy to
I was
do
out
it.
of town.
Happy to.
Where we had our first sale. So Kent, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it was a really great learning experience for me. I've been around logging before, but never the actual sales process of how logs are sold. And so, we had a really nice inventory out here in the field, as you'll see in the video. And there's kind of three pieces of selling a log, right? Every log has what's called a veneer log. Essentially, that's from the base of the log all the way up to the first blemish, like a knot or a hollow spot or something like that. So that's called the veneer log. And then the next section of the log is typically what's called a stave log, which is for barrel staves, like it says. It's used in furniture a lot, things like that. And then beyond that,
flooring's another spot.
Yep, exactly. And then after that, you really get into what's called the grade logs, which maybe go into pallet lumber or something that's not like appearance or really needs to be highly durable. It's just more about shipping or things of that nature, right? So that's what. So the first day I was here was all veneer log sales. So it was a really interesting process to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did a great job interviewing. You got some info from Logger
Yep.
on what he does and what he's looking at. You had a buyer that was here, interviewed him a little bit. So,
Yep.
But yeah, I think you'll find it's not entertaining as much as it's educational.
Educational. That's the point. It's educational because cool to watch them do it, and the knowledge these guys have. The sales guy that I talked to, or the buyer that I talked to, excuse me, he was just unbelievable knowledgeable about the wood and the logs and how they use the wood, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a really awesome experience.
So again, thanks for doing it. And now you can watch that video.
Good morning, everyone. We've been working with Mark and his neighboring property, the winery. And what we have going on here is we have a lot of the nicer trees out right now, with being white oak, walnut, and some cherry. And we've got a couple nice red oak. What we do is we get it laid out and I like the minimum of 3 buyers to come in, so I can guarantee property owner and myself a higher dollar amount. Obviously that's never bad. We go through, guys will come out, they'll measure off what they want, make a line, we'll cut it, we'll set it off to the side, and they'll take them up, measure them, give me some numbers, and very transparent with the property owners on what they all bring. They see everything that I see, so that's always a plus. On the stuff that the veneer guys don't buy, we'll have what they call stave and grade buyers come out. A lot of the stave will go for, say, flooring or whiskey barrels, just depends on where we ship it, and if it stays in state or if it goes out of state. Some of the cherry, it goes for paneling and flooring as well, some trim. Red oak, same thing, some trim, some flooring. We also have some poplar and some hard maple laid out.
So when you say veneer
yeah.
and stave, so tell me a little bit about the differences there between what the logs might look like versus, you know, between the three.
So walk with me real quick and I'll show you.
Sure.
On this one here, for example, the veneer, really clean veneer, is going to be the first about 10 feet or so, because we have what they call a face right here.
Yep.
He's probably going to cut that off right in here somewhere, and it's going to be what they call three-sided, really clean veneer piece.
Okay.
And after that, it's really clean, probably another about 20 feet or so.
Yep.
We come up here, we start getting into our rougher, more knottier logs. So we'll cut that section out, about a 18 to 20 foot section.
So then the veneer guy today will come out and look at these logs and say, I want the first 10 feet of this log.
Yeah.
So you guys will cut it, and then the remaining of the log might be sold into a stave buyer or a grade buyer.
Yeah, which is coming.
Okay.
They always come after the veneer buyers. That way I have that stuff separated, so
okay.
I know what the veneer guys are bidding on, and I know what the stave guy can take up without stepping on any toes.
All right, good. Good.
That makes the line of the stave, and then the rest of that's high grade logs.
Yep.
Normal high end, maybe pallet lumber at that point.
Absolutely.
But
okay.
Still worth decent money.
So how many different species are laying out here right now, you think?
We have, of a veneer sale right now, we have main is white oak, and then next would be some walnut.
Yep.
And then we've got some big red oak.
Yep.
Natural red oak, and then we've got some cherry.
Okay.
It's hard to find cherry this clean, so
yeah, there's some nice cherry trees I remember out on the property.
We're pretty blessed with that. They're really nice. So we got 4 different veneer species, and high-end grade we have probably 5 different species. The other 2 or the other 1 or 2 being ash, and then some of the poplar might deal with the veneer. It just depends on how they cut.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Well, good. Well, I'm anxious to watch this process today and get a little more video for it, and we'll be back more with more later. Thank you, Shane, for the great details.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Just taking a quick peek at the field here at Triple B Farms, and looking out across quite a large group of logs. I'm guessing, I don't know if an exact count, but I'm guessing there's at least 100 logs here laying on the property that are going to go through the buying process. And today's buying process will be veneer only. So the veneer buyers are coming here, and if you think about veneer, that's the nice, good quality laminate that goes on top of fine furniture, right? You know, you would, it's just very high quality and very good appearance. So that's what they're looking at mostly today. So what we're looking at here is the butt end of a log, and what we're looking at is the beginning of a hollowing point in the log, right, Shane?
Yes, yes.
So what we're saying here, the timing of this logging operation is really very good, and you can see the size of this tree, right? And so that's a nice sized tree, probably 18 to 24 inches in diameter, something in that neighborhood, and it's starting to hollow out. So that's something to think about, right, when you're planning on harvesting your forest, right?
Absolutely. And if it's been logged before, a lot of times some of them spots can come from previously rubbing up against a tree with another tree,
right,
and it growing on the inside. In this case, I think a lot of it has to do with where it was at. It was on a big hillside.
Yep.
The stump was kind of elevated up off the ground more than what it should have been because of how it had to grow. And, you know, 5 years ago, it probably would have been in perfect shape.
Yep.
But we're also at a really good point because in about 3 to 4 years, it would have been pretty
bad.
doty in the middle.
Yep,
It would
pretty
have
bad.
been, it would have been rough. So
all right, perfect.
We're doing pretty good.
Good. Good morning, everybody. I'm here with Sam Harpering, who is a veneer buyer, correct?
Correct.
And I'm going to let him talk a little bit about his process of what he's doing here today for the video channel here at Triple B Farms. So go ahead, sir.
I'm Sam Harpering. I work for Amos Hill Veneer Company in Edinburgh, Indiana. I come out here to inspect the white oak and the walnut veneer logs this morning and give Shane a price on the logs.
Okay, great. Now you're only looking at this veneer section of the log, right?
Yes.
So because there'll be maybe other pieces like steak or grade.
Yeah, grade logs. And,
Yep.
Yeah, but we're just interested in the veneer logs.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. And so typically, you know, white oak is pretty tough to come by, I think. So it looks
Yeah,
like
white oak and walnut's competitive.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. All right, good. You seeing some pretty decent looking logs out here on the property?
There's some few pretty good, nice logs out here. Yeah.
Good. Anything about this particular layout or anything that you like, or is it just pretty standard the way people lay them
Pretty
out?
standard.
Pretty standard?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, Sam, I appreciate you so much doing this
No
for
problem.
us. So Sam is getting ready to mark logs so that Shane can cut out the veneer sections for him. So he's doing his measurements right now. What exactly, Sam, are you looking for when you're looking at these logs for veneer?
Try to go up to the first defect and make a good, clean, straight log.
Okay, good. So a knot or
Yeah, cat
Sim-
face knot.
yeah, something like that. Okay. How many years you been doing this?
I've been with the company for 41 years.
41 years. So just a day or two.
Just a day or two, yeah. Yeah, just a day or two.
Okay, so Shane is going through now and cutting the logs where Sam marked them so that they are, we know which end was veneer, and so that's way when the next veneer buyer comes in too, they'll know where the veneer starts and where the stave and or grade logs might are as well.
So that was the veneer logs, and what you'll see behind me is getting ready for the next one.
Yes.
Right?
Right, which is the stave and grade log sales, right? So those buyers will be coming in, they'll review the logs just like the veneer log salesman did, and they'll go around and actually, I'm sure, mark logs where they want to cut the stave and then grade beyond that, and then they'll make their bids, they'll do the measurements like the veneer log person did, and go through that same process of bidding and quoting how much they buy.
So
Hey,
it's like Saturday.
Yeah.
He's planning on the sale on Sunday, so he's got some more logs he's still dragging out. You can probably hear him in the background, but yeah. So we got the sale on Monday, and we'll try to record that a little bit and learn a little bit about stave and grade.
and grave, yeah.
Good?
Absolutely. Good.
All right. Thanks.